Friday the 13th in December. Of course, I've got to tell a Friday the 13th scary story. Are you superstitious? Because this guy wasn't either until this happened to him. David sent this story in. He said that he had just started working at this factory. This was last year. And he said that on Friday the 13th, it was just like any other day. He wasn't really worried about it. The building that he was working at was known for being haunted, but he didn't care because he didn't believe in ghosts and all of that, so he was fine with it. He was working third shift, which he said was like the ideal time for him because he would go in at like 11:30 and then no one would be in the building. He would just clean up and then go home the next morning just fine. But he said this night when he got to work, he was on the third floor cleaning up when he went into one of the offices on the very far end of the building in the corner. He said that immediately he noticed that the office smelled like burnt hair. He checked everywhere to see if anything was like on fire or anything like that, and he said that everything was fine. None of the alarms had went off, so it just had like this weird burnt hair smell. So he was straightening up one of the desks when he noticed that there was a random Polaroid. Now, typically there was nothing on this desk other than like cleaning supplies from whoever was on second shift, but there was a Polaroid laying in the middle of the desk. It was a photo of the hallway right outside the door of the office, but at the end of the hallway was this figure that was like grayed out, like a shadow figure. Immediately he noticed that something was off about it because it had like really long arms and strong looking like features, but not really, because he was still able to make out the features like cheekbones and the eyes and things like that. So he said immediately where he wasn't a believer in spooky things like that, he just figured like the guy that was working second shift was trying to mess with him or whatever. So he just threw the Polaroid back onto the desk and went about what he had to do. But then when he went out into the hall about 10 minutes later, he said that the lights started flickering in the hall in the direction of where the Polaroid shadow man was at. So he looks towards that direction, and right when the lights like flicker off, that thing is standing there. So he thinks he's like completely losing his mind or something, so he's looking at it, and he said that he was trying to like blink and see if it would go away, but it was still just like there. So he starts to back away from it, and when he starts to move backwards, the thing starts gliding down the hallway towards him. He heads for the stairs because he said he wasn't going to wait for the elevator, and he just starts running down the dark stairs. He said that he was just like jumping down the staircase trying to get down as quick as he could. He immediately runs out the front door and turns around to look back at the building, and in the building the lights are on in the lobby, but then the lights went out and that thing was standing there. He said he didn't wait to see what it did, he just got the hell out of there. Have you had anything like that happen to you on a Friday the 13th?